Alright, here we are looking at the new 2019 Dodge Ram. A few things have changed under the hood. You can see the design differences. We have these new little strut bars here, reinforcements. These are kind of cool on both sides. Looks like we have a lot more room to install our clutch pump, which is going to be nice. It's the same layout, so it's probably going to have the same bracket system and everything. I have yet to receive it to check that out. That'll be another install video. You can check out my 2014 to 2018 clutch pump install on these on my channel. We put our Upfitter wires in our switch plugs here. The positioning of these have changed a little bit. They're down in there a little further now, a little harder to get to. It's a little cleaner design, I think, though. I like them down in there instead of just sticking out up top. So same though, we got the dark gray on top, light gray down below. Still 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down here we have 5, 6 and our pass-through wire, 6 being our PTO. And over here we pulled up our fuse box, and nestled inside the fender in here is, you can see that gray plug with a single wire coming out of it. It's all taped up. It's actually 4 wires, or 2 looped over. But we're going to pull that plug up out of there. That's a PTO plug. And we have another plug to put in there that's a non-PTO plug. Because this isn't getting a PTO, it's getting a clutch pump. So we want to be able to have mobile functions with the truck while the clutch pump is running, and we have some tow functions for repo purposes, and otherwise we cannot drive the truck with the PTO engaged. So because this is not a PTO, it's a belt driven hydraulic assembly that we're going to mount over here, like I have in the other video I was referring to. And you can check that video out, and later I'll have an install one for this one too that I'll come out with soon. But we're going to put a plug in there that just has 1 looped wire on it that eliminates that function, so it's the non-PTO plug, so we can actually have some mobile functions while leaving our PTO switch engaged. So we're going to change that out now, and then I'll show you some of the new features inside the cab. Alright guys, so we got the plug changed out. I just wanted to show you real quick. So this is the one we put in there. This is what's underneath your fuse box that you pull up here. It's really easy, just these little tabs on the side of the fuse box. I just grab it with 2 hands because there's some on the back side here too. So I just grab it like this, pop it up out of there, set it to the side. This is down in there as I showed you earlier. You can just give it a little tug and it'll pull off of the zip tie that it's on from that harness, and then you can pull it out like this to get to it. Just a little button there you push, comes out. So this is the one we put in there with a single wire on it. So this is the non-PTO. So we can have some mobile functions while leaving our PTO switch on. So we'll just put that on there, and we'll tuck it back in there, and we'll reinstall our box. Go. So this is the plug that came out of there. They actually in your Upfitter bag supply you the same plug in case you lose it or need another one for later. I don't know why they give you the one that already comes in the truck, but it's just an extra. So you can see there's actually 2 wires looped over in there instead of the single. So this is actually for PTO use. It already comes in the truck. So if you are putting a transmission PTO on there, then you do not need to change this plug. We only do that because we're running the clutch pump. Alright, so we dug out the Upfitter bag. It comes with the paperwork. We got that out of there. We used to have to look this up online, which is really nice to give you this whole packet of everything you need for all the different chassis, all your builds. It's just basic information. They still don't tell you the functions of the wiring in the VSIM wires, your green, brown, and black harness. So we will have to look those up. They're more than likely probably the same, but we'll look them up just in case. So this is what we're on. We're on a 5500 chassis here, a diesel. So it tells us the locations of everything on the chassis, kind of a general location. It gives us a description then of where they're at. Tells us fuse ratings for all our auxiliary switches and our PTO switch, amperage draw, max fuse rating. We can switch fuses around in each position to change depending on what we're running on each switch. It comes with this also, some nice drawings or nice pictures of where our VSIM module is located now, where all our harnesses plug in at. They're actually labeled on the unit, so you don't even need this. It's printed on the plastic in there, which is nice. The plugs are all much easier to get to. For really detailed instructions, you can visit their website, which is right here, if my camera will focus. There we go. I will also put this in the description of the video. And they also have a YouTube, so you can check that out on there too. That's the one thing I wanted to clear up, guys, is it's a little misleading on the paperwork here that comes in your Upfitter bag. They actually give you this whole packet now, which is really nice. You used to have to go online and look this up. But they give you the impression that you're looking at the plug like this, like it comes on the truck. But it's not. It's actually, if you pull the plug out and flip it around and look inside it, that's how they're looking at it here on the drawing. So if you're looking at it this way and you go off how they've numbered it, you'll actually wire the stuff reversed or backwards or upside down. So just be conscious of that. Look at it this way. Another giveaway is how these little notches are on top. You can kind of see that on the drawing here on the top. It's oriented like that. So that was another way to tell. Just a little heads up on that, guys. So number 1 is our last switch on this one. This is a light gray plug that's below the dark gray plug. The dark gray plug is this one, which has our switches 1, 2, 3, and 4 on it. And even though on the drawing it's labeled 1, 2, 3, 4 again, it actually starts at 5, 6, and then our pass-through wire and a ground. Now we're not using the ground, so we left the plug in there, the little green rubber plug in there. But we have one, which is the relay 5 output. So we made that the pink. I make all the switches pink. They're all different. They're pink with different colors. I don't really care about that. I don't do them in a specific order. I mean, you could go like alphabetically, whatever the color of the stripe is, to keep a track of them that way if you feel so inclined. But I just use the only one that's orange, so I know that that's my PTO or clutch pump. So that'll be 6, which is number 2 actually. So this is 1, which is switch 5, switch 6, which is the PTO factory switch, our pass-through wire, and then we left the ground out because we're not going to be using that. So you look at it like this way when it's plugged in, but just be conscious of it. They have it on the drawing like this, so you don't wire it backwards. Alright, so this was just issued to us from Dodge. So we cannot turn our clutch pump on without this diode installed. Otherwise, power will backfeed through the system and burn out the VSIM. They have a little recall on this. So in our brown harness, our 708 wire has been eliminated, but there's this issue now. So where I was showing you guys on that plug that I was not going to install the ground wire, and I left the plug in it on our light gray Upfitter plug, I'm actually going to have to install the black ground wire in there now and install this as it's shown on here, in between our 6-position switch for the PTO or clutch pump and the ground. So do not operate anything off that switch before doing this. Alright, well, so we pulled the plug back out of there. Let's pull this plug out of there and put this black ground wire in there. Grab our pliers here and I'll pull those plugs out. so. Pull it out of there. We'll grab our black ground wire here. This comes in our Upfitter kit. They already come with these little grommets on here, which is really nice. Just be sure of the orientation. So you got a little square that's notched out at the side here. And then if you look in the plug, see if we can see down in there. So you can see that there's a little tab that clips into that hole. So we want to orient it that way. Put this hole on that side. So just like that. Okay. And you'll hear an audible click. Some of them are a little tough. There we go. So that's it. So your grommet should be sealed in there. There we go. Okay, so like I said, our orange will be for our clutch pump power. This is our ground. So what we're going to do then, resistor works one way. It allows power to flow through it one way, but it doesn't allow any power to backfeed through it. That's the point of the resistor. And that's the problem that we're experiencing. That's why we need to install this. So we need to hook it in line with our clutch pump, and on the silver side, and the other end on our ground. So we'll probably just use some butt connectors. We'll cut into this, clean it up, strip the insulation off of it or the jacketing, and we'll put a butt connector on this one, butt connector on that one. We'll need to leave this one with an open end because we're still going to have to run power from this to our clutch pump and to a clutch pump light, PTO light. It's a light that shows us that the system is engaged, and that will actually connect to our pass-through wire. That's what we use the pass-through wire on here for, because as I showed you on the other gray harness that's under the dash that has the pass-through wire on it, it will actually transfer this power through this pass-through wire and just back into the cab under the dash in that other pass-through wire. So basically it just will send it through this to the other harness. That's all it does. So you could use this to send any power inside or outside through the cab. It's basically just passing through the firewall. That's why they call it a pass-through. I'll show you a little bit more in-depth video of me hooking this up and how it works. And you can check out my VSIM wiring video as well on my channel. I go into greater detail on all of this, and it's basically the same minus this resistor now with the addition of the 2019 chassis, but on the 2014 to 2018, and even the rest of the wiring on this will basically be the same. So you can check out that wiring the VSIM video for more detail. Thanks, guys. So here's the new Dodge 2019 interior. Got a little like faux wood grain kind of looking there. The gauge cluster is really nice looking. Push button start now, which is really cool. The VSIM is kind of the same. Styling's a little different. We have the addition of an extra switch here, so now we have 5 auxiliary switches plus our factory PTO switch. Some nice styling on that too. A little cubby for your key fob or whatever you want. We have some charging ports down here. The new style as well, and an auxiliary. Very nice. Another thing I thought was really cool is they give you this up here with an extra power distribution, and they have this little track right here that you can actually put your phone in to hold it up in this little tray up here. So you have some you could have your GPS on your phone or your, whatever you want, a YouTube video playing while you're driving. So I thought that was pretty cool. We have some new styling on our glove boxes over here. Switch goes sideways instead of up now. It's really nice looking. Nice floor mats. They still have the same type of center console. You got your 3 cup holders. Here's the screws for our panel down here. I'll show you that in a second. Still your coin slots, extra power in here. Still have the CD player, which is nice. I'm old school. I rock tons of CDs. I got thousands like that. That's a huge plus for me. Controls have changed a little bit over here. Just different styling on everything. I like how it's almost like a honeycomb kind of carbon fiber look behind the bezels. Same basic controls on the steering wheel, same spots. You have the addition of the gear limit now, which is nice. So this is the panel that we're going to pull off. I've already taken the little screws out of here. So you want to pull, there's one here, one over here on this side, and then you can pull this whole cover off of here. Just be gentle with it, it's all plastic. You don't want to break any of these little pop rivets while pulling it out. There we go. And they'll drop down for you. I just leave it hanging with our hood latch cable and this other plug. So this is where the VSIM is located now, the VSIM module. So, which is nice now, they label this for you too. So you can see this is our harness for all our functions. I have another video for 2014 to 2018 wiring the VSIM and clutch pump install for a Ram. I'll come out with one for this one too. Once I get a little further into this. So I'm just showing you the basics right now. So this is nice, it's all labeled. Our other plug, let me see if I can get up in here. The other plug for, where is it? Ignition. There it is. That big gray plug. That's a 6-position plug. It has a loop for battery, a loop for running or ignition, and our pass-through wire from our Upfitter plugs under the hood. So we wire this harness right here into this. This comes in our Upfitter bag. These are looped. I cut them and put butt connectors on there because we're actually going to run this from that plug over with the rest of our harness like I showed you in my other VSIM wiring video. It's basically all the same as that. Nothing else has really changed. I will make a video to update you on this stuff. There's plugs over here easier to get to. Our plug for this is actually on this side now, up under here. It's a little bit of a pain to get to. That one is pretty bad now. So it's zip tied way up in there. So I'm gonna have to get to that in a second. So I pop this cover off here. This is down here. It's just like the old one. It just pops off. It's got all these little pop tabs on there, little slide tabs. So I just pull that up out of the way. Now we can get down in here, run our VSIM wires up under here and across here, just like on the other video I showed you. They have the addition of a ground down here now, which is really nice. So we'll be utilizing that ground for our ground wires for all of these functions. I've yet to put this gray wire up in there still. I put the plug that has our battery and ignition and pass through on it. So I'll run those up under the dash here too and hide those. Run those over with our VSIM harness. Well, let me show you where this gray plug is gonna go. This is a little ridiculous. So it's up under here. See if I can show you. Where is it? There it is. So it's actually up under here, right here, and they put tape over the opening to it. So not only do I have to get up in here, but I also got to peel all this tape off of it so that I can plug into it. So yeah, so that's a little ridiculous. So I got my light down in here, shining up in here. Yeah. Try to give you a perspective of where it is. So that's the 2019 Ram SLT.